everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Sunglass Chef. I am super excited to share with you my kids' favorite meal, pizza. Now the secret and the essence to the best pizza on planet Earth starts with making a delicious dough crust. So I'm going to share with you my secrets on how to make the best pizza known to man. Now there's three components that go into making a pizza. First and most important, the dough. Number two, the sauce. And third, the toppings. Today we're going to be doing a pepperoni and a sausage topping, but you can make it vegetarian if you like. You can make it a combination of mushrooms and meat. However you want to do this, it's up to you. When making pizza dough, this unique style and recipe, you're going to need milk. Warm milk, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, salted butter, brown sugar, olive oil, all-purpose flour, unbleached, no preservatives, dry yeast. These are 2 packages. Each package equals 1/4 ounce. You'll need 2 of them. 4 eggs, room temperature, and some salt. That's what goes into the dough. Next, we're going to have the sauce. You'll need a 28-ounce can of tomatoes, garlic, 4 cloves. You also need yellow onion, about 1/3 of a cup, carrots, about 1½ tablespoons, herbs. We're going to use basil, parsley, oregano, thyme. We're also going to be using organic honey, unfiltered honey, black peppercorns, a little bit of brown sugar, and of course salt. And then for our toppings today, no antibiotic pepperoni, and fresh Italian sausage, mild. Cheese, mozzarella organic cheese, and I like to use cornmeal. This is coarse ground cornmeal as for the bottom of the pie, the pizza. Well, I can't wait to start, so let's begin. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our oven on to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So turn that oven on. Once it reaches 200 degrees, we're going to turn the oven off. This is going to be part of our proofing of the dough. Next, we're going to turn on our stove so that we can melt our unsalted butter. That's going to be part of our dough. This is the secret to really great pizza dough and crust. Real butter. Milk from grass-fed cows. Now it's time to activate our dry yeast. And to do that, we're going to use a large bowl. We're going to dump our dry yeast. And yeast, by the way, is microorganisms. Dry yeast is just little granules of microorganisms. And the way we activate those organisms is by adding either water or warm milk. And my secret recipe uses warm milk. Approximately 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to use also a tablespoon of sugar. Sugar tends to activate this yeast mixture faster, so we're going to dump 1 tablespoon of sugar, brown sugar, into our yeast milk mixture. And we're going to wait approximately 10 minutes for this to foam up. It's been 10 minutes. Let's check out the yeast fermentation mixture. Do you see how that's foamed up? It's ready to go. It's activated and ready. Now we're going to add our melted butter. Pour that right in. We're going to add some salt. Approximately 1.5 tablespoons. Now we're going to add our eggs. 4 room temperature eggs. We're going to whisk this together. And now I'm going to use a KitchenAid mixer. This is a dough hook, and this is real helpful when making dough, breads and pizza crust, etc. Now this recipe calls for 7 cups of flour. This recipe is going to make 2 deep dish pizza pies. We're going to add 3 cups at first. You're not going to add all 7 at one time. We're going to add 3 cups, and then we're going to turn on our KitchenAid mixer. So there's 3 cups. I'm going to attach the attachment. And let the machine do the work for us. I'm going to add some more of the flour now that it's been mixed for approximately 60 seconds. And turn it back on. You don't want to turn it on too fast. Just for demonstration purposes, let me show you how fast it can go. And then it starts spilling everywhere, so we don't want that. Now occasionally I'll stop it and I'll use a spatula to scrape the sides. And now I'm going to add the 7th cup. Now this is approximately 7 cups because what we want is the dough to be soft. We don't want this dough to be sticky, and we're going to form it into a ball in just a few minutes. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Ooh, beautiful. Look at that. That's how we want our dough to look. Well, I've got the dough ball inside of our metal bowl here. I've covered it with paper towels, and then I tightened it with a rubber band. Now I'm going to stick this into the oven for approximately 45 minutes. This is going to allow the dough to rest and rise up. It's called proofing the dough. And we're going to do this twice. First for 45 minutes, and then stay tuned for the second proofing. It's been 45 minutes. Let's take a look at the dough. Wow, it's busting out of the seams. That's beautiful. And what we're going to do here is we're going to punch the dough. It's called deflating or degassing the dough. This is part of the proofing process. You just punch it and see how it deflates, degasses. And I'm going to recover this again. Now that the dough has been punched, we're going to proof it a second time and put it in the oven for 45 more minutes. While we're waiting for our second proofing of the dough, which will take about 45 minutes, we're going to preheat our cast iron skillet, add a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to brown our mild Italian sausage, pork sausage. You don't need a whole lot of olive oil for this. Now it's time to add our mild Italian sausage into our preheated cast iron skillet. Now if you don't have a cast iron skillet, any skillet will do. My preference is cast iron. This browning of the pork will take approximately 10 minutes. We want to make sure this is thoroughly cooked, but not overly cooked, because we will be baking this at 425 degrees once our pizza pie is ready for toppings. Oh, it smells delicious. With this mild pork Italian sausage, we don't need to add any ingredients to this. No salt, pepper, no spices whatsoever, because the spices are already incorporated into the meat. This was purchased at Whole Foods. It's been 10 minutes, and take a look at this browned sausage. We're going to put this into a colander. We don't want excess grease on our pizza. We're going to pour that our sausage into this colander. Now that the oil has been drained from our pork, we're going to put this on a dish and we're going to refrigerate it. It's important that we not let the pork sit out for an extended amount of time. Let's oil our pans. I've got 2 deep dish pans here, and we'll want to oil both of these pans and add a little bit of cornmeal to the bottom. It gives it a great texture, it helps so it doesn't stick to the pan, and it adds a nice flavor. Look at our pies. This is going to be now our 3rd and final stage, proofing, shape proofing. And we're going to stick these into the oven. It's not on now. You don't want to turn your oven on yet. And we're going to proof these for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now it's time to saute our vegetables. We're going to be sauteing onions, carrots, and garlic. First, we're going to saute our onions and our carrots for approximately 15 minutes. The last 5 minutes, we'll add the garlic. So let's preheat our cast iron skillet. And if you don't have a cast iron, any skillet will do. You want to put that to about a medium heat. Preheat that for approximately 5 minutes and start sauteing your vegetables. Well, I've just added the garlic to our cast iron skillet and added this to the sauteed onions and carrots. Let's take a look at that. We're going to cook this for about 5 minutes max, maybe 3 minutes from here. Well, it's time to put our sauteed vegetables into the food processor. We want to puree the vegetables. We don't want chunks of vegetables in our tomato sauce. All right, now that I got the last bits of greatness into this food processor, we're going to puree. Now we're going to blend our pureed vegetables with our 28 ounce of tomato sauce. I like Cento. This is a great company, and this is organic crushed tomatoes. This smells so good. I like using carrots. They give a nice natural sweetness to the sauce. A very unique flavor. Now that I've added the sauteed and food processed vegetables into the blender, we're going to blend this up. But take a look at that. It smells so rich and inviting. The wonderful fragrance and the colors. The carrots add a wonderful natural sweetness that's totally unique. Alright, now we're going to add this to our saucepan. We're going to turn up the heat to a medium-low. We're going to be cooking this sauce for approximately 1 hour. As it's cooking, it's going to reduce and get more thick and flavorful. Let's go ahead and add our spices. We have basil, parsley, oregano, and thyme. Next, we're going to add some brown sugar. Now, I like my tomato sauce, pizza sauce, a little sweet, not too sweet. We're going to use actually a little less than 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. We're going to add a little bit of organic raw honey, about half a teaspoon. Put that goodness right in there. I'm going to add approximately 2 teaspoons of salt. Black pepper, to your preference. Tablespoon and a half of olive oil. It smells so great. A nice delicate mixture of sweet and herbs. I'm going to bring this heat down to a low and cook this for 1 hour. Well, now that we've done our second proofing, degassing, punching of the dough, we're going to take a look at this and we're going to actually do our third proofing, and that's going to be called shape proofing, and I'll explain more of that in a minute. And we're actually going to form our pizza right in our pan. We don't need a rolling pin. We'll use our hands and be creative. And now to add dough number 2 to pan 2. And remember, what we're doing here is we're forming a circle with this. We don't need a rolling pin. We're just forming the dough right into the pan. And we're going to put these pans back in the oven and proof them for a third and final time. This is called shape proofing because we're proofing this in the shape of our pan. And again, if you don't have a deep dish pan, that's okay. You can make these pizzas on any pan that's appropriate for the oven. Well, it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes, and now let's check out our shape proofing. Whoa, this is fantastic. Beautiful. Look at that. Now it's time to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. While that's preheating, let's take a look at our sauce. Look at this. It's nice, thick sauce. It smells absolutely delicious. Savory herbs and a tinge of sweetness. Now we've completed the 3 phases of proofing. Our proof 1 was for 45 minutes. We let the dough rest so those flavors would develop, and then they rose. And at the 45-minute mark, we punched the dough. We degassed that dough and proofed it a second time for 45 minutes. Then our third proofing was called a proof shape, where we're shaping it into what we'd like. If this was a bread pan, we'd be proof shaping it into a bread, shape of a bread. In this case, we're proofing the shape of a pizza pan, a deep dish. I'm preheating the oven at 425 degrees because now it is time to par bake the dough. Now, par baking is partially baking the pizza dough. This is a very important step because we don't want soggy dough. I'm just going to rotate this and form the outside crust. I'm going to stick each pie into the double oven. Remember, we're par baking here, so we're partially baking, and this is going to be for 12 minutes. Now, if you just have a single oven, just simply put it on 2 different racks, and at the 6-minute mark, rotate for a total of 12 minutes. It's been 12 minutes, and our dough has been par baked. Let's pull it out and see how it looks. Well, I waited 10 minutes after par baking the dough before putting on our toppings. We're going to start with our tomato sauce, our herb and sweet savory sauce. I want to try a little bit of this. It is so delicious. It has the herb, the delicate balance of herb and sweetness. Delicious. On this pepperoni pizza, now that we've evenly distributed the wonderful aromatic homemade pizza sauce, herb inspired, we're going to add a layer of cheese and we're going to put the pepperoni on top of that cheese. Remember, for even distribution. Now my family members, they like pepperoni better than sausage, so I'm going to be generous with both the cheese and the pepperoni. Well, look at that. Beautiful. We're going to pop these into the oven, our 425 degree preheated oven, for 20 minutes until we get a nice golden color on top. Timer, 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes and let's take a look at how these pizzas turned out. We'll start with the pepperoni. Woo-wee! Look at this. Wow, a beautiful golden crust. Let's check out the sausage. Both of our pies are ready. Take a look at this. Look at the sausage and look at the pepperoni pizza. A beautiful golden cheese color. Now I can't wait to take a bite of this delicious looking pizza. Mmm. Remarkable. It's so flavorful. The dough is crusty and buttery. The crust is just perfect. I taste the savory flavor of the tomato sauce and the hint of herbs and the hint of sweetness. This is the best pizza I've ever had. If you like this pizza video recipe, spread the word and tell your family and friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Sunglass Chef. Thank you.